A very good morning to all of you. Today Vansh is going to deliver a video lecture on what is surveying. What are the principles of surveying? What are the objectives of surveying? What are the uses of surveying? And what are the different types of surveying? Explaining about the types, I will tell you in detail about plain table surveying and chain surveying. The first question that comes in the minds of people is, what is surveying? What is actually surveying? What is the process of surveying? Surveying or land surveying is the technique, profession and science of determining the terrestrial or three-dimensional position of points and the distances and the angles between the different points on the surface of the earth. A land surveying professional is called a land surveyor. These points are usually on the surface of the earth and they are often used to establish maps and boundaries for ownership. Locations like building corners or the surface location or subsurface features or other purposes required by the government or civil law, such as the property sales. Now, next I'm going to explain you about what are the basic two fundamental principles of surveying. The first principle is to work from the whole to the part. It includes control points. Control points basically includes triangulation of traversing. Triangulation is divided into large triangle. Triangles are subdivided into smaller triangles. It is used to control and localize minor errors. If we work from the part to the whole, small errors are magnified and uncontrollable at the end. The second principle is locating points by independent measurements. It means to fix the position of new station by at least two independent processes. The stations are fixed from points already fixed by linear measurement is the first thing. The second thing is angular measurements, or the third one is including both the linear and angular measurements. The basic example of this principle is chain surveying. In this type of surveying, main lines and station points are checked by the means of check or tie lines. Next thing that I am going to tell you about is what are the basic objectives behind surveying. Why surveying is necessary? Why every day government has to use the process of surveying to find the location of different points. The basic principles or the basic objectives of surveying are: collect and record the data of points on the earth, compute areas and volumes of different locations, prepare location and plans of the different sites and the buildings, check the accuracy of the laid out works or the ongoing plans, layout engineering works using surveying data. Layout surveying engineering works using surveying data basically means whatever data is collected by the land surveyor, it has to be used by the builder or the surveyor to build a building. For a good plan and location of the building, we need surveying. The next thing that I'm going to explain you is what are the basic uses of surveying. To prepare a topographical map to show the hills, valleys, rivers, villages, towns, etc. of the country. To prepare a cadastral map showing the boundaries of field houses and other properties. To prepare an engineering map to show details like roads, railways, canals and other construction works. To prepare military map showing roads and railways, communication with different parts of the country. To prepare a contour map and to determine capacity of a reservoir and to find the best possible route for roads, railways and much more construction things. To prepare an archaeological map including places where ancient relics exist. To prepare a geological maps including underground resources. The next thing that I'm going to explain you about is the basic types of surveying. Firstly, I'm going to tell you about the types of surveying based on the place or the location. First one is land surveying. Land surveying involves measurement and determining the property boundaries, which are used as the basis for all property transactions including buying and selling. Due to importance of having a secure and strong property market, a NSW land surveyor needs to be registered to be able to carry out a land survey. The other type is engineering surveying. Engineering surveyors are engaged in the construction industry and ensure construction works are built in the correct location and as per their design. They are generally found on construction sites setting out various types of work such as buildings, roads, bridges, tunnels, and various other forms of infrastructure. Another type is mining surveying. Mining surveyors are involved in the development and construction of mining operations and can generally be found above and underground, taking measurements to determine volumes and setting out new excavations and tunneling. The other kind of surveying is hydrographic surveying. Hydrographic surveying involves locating and measuring points under the sea and on the shore. These measurements are to design infrastructure such as docks and jetties, as well as ensuring ships have enough clearance from the seabed to safely travel around the world. Using sonar scanners, they are able to provide a picture of the seabed without needing to get their feet wet and enabling the discovery of shipwrecks and other objects lost at sea. The final type of surveying is geodetic surveying. Geodetic surveyors are involved with undertaking very precise instruments and measurements to determine the shape and size of the world and track the movement of continents. Their measurements are used in the monitoring of sea level rise, earthquakes, and the tracking of satellites. Geodetic surveyors are involved in the development of coordinate systems and datums which are used in the production of maps and plans. This was the type of surveying based on the location. Now I'm going to tell you about the types of surveying based on the instrument used, and mainly I'm going to explain you people about plane table surveying and chain surveying. Chain surveying. A chain is usually made up of galvanized iron and is generally 5 meter, 10 meter, 20 meter or 30 meter long. A long chain is made up of many links and distance between each link is 200 mm. It is the simplest method of surveying. In this survey, only measurements are taken in the field and the rest of the work such as plotting graphs, mapping, calculation are done in the office. This is most suitably adapted to small plain areas with very few details. If we carry out chain surveying carefully, we can get quite accurate results. The necessary requirements to carry out a chain surveying are chain, tape, ranging rod, arrows, and sometimes we also require a cross staff. Basic terminologies of chain surveying are main stations. Main stations are the ends of the lines which command the boundaries of the survey, and the lines joining the main stations are called the main survey line or the chain lines. Subsidiary or tie stations. Subsidiary or tie stations are the points selected on the main survey lines where it is necessary to locate the interior details of the building such as fences and hedges. What are offsets? Offsets are the lateral measurements from the baseline to fix the positions of different objects of the work with respect to the baseline. These are generally set at the right angle to the baseline. What is a baseline? Baseline is the main and the longest line which passes approximately through the center of the field. All the other measurements to show the details of the work are taken with respect to the baseline. Checklines. A checkline, also termed as a proof line, is a line joining the apex of the triangle to some fixed points or of any two sides of the triangle. A check line is measured to check the accuracy of the framework. The length of the check line as measured on the ground should agree with its length on the plane. Plan. What are the different types of chain surveying? First type is direct ranging. In this type of chain surveying, the endpoints are visible from the main stations. The other type is indirect ranging. In indirect ranging, the endpoints are not visible from the main stations and we need to move our main station to different points to locate the different endpoints and carry out the surveying. Plane table surveying. What is plane table surveying? A plane table surveying is the fast method of surveying. In this type of surveying, plotting of the plan and field observations can be done simultaneously. In case of a plane table surveying, geometrical conditions of the site that needs to be surveyed are manuscript in the map sheet using plane table and elidate. And after carrying out the procedure, the topographic details are arranged on the map. What are the things that you require to carry out plane table surveying? A plane table with tripod, alley date, spirit level, magnetic needle, and a plumbing fork. What is a plane table? A plane table is a big wooden table which has a ball and socket arrangement which helps it to fix on the tripod stand easily. Alley date. Alley date is a metallic ruler which is used for marking. It is of two types, plain alley date and a telescopic alley date. An alley date has two frames. The object frame is used for bisecting the objects and the eye frame is used to sight the objects. The next thing that we need to carry out is the leveling of a plane table. It is done using a spirit level. A spirit level is used to level the plane table. It can be placed in mutually perpendicular directions and can level the table. Magnetic compass. A magnetic compass usually consists of a magnetic needle in a rectangular box. The box is placed and turned on the table to set the reading of the needle to 0. A line is drawn along the edges of the box to obtain the magnetic meridian. Plumbing fork. A folded frame with a plumb bob makes a plumbing fork. The upper half of the plumbing fork is placed on the table and pointed edge is suspended such that it falls upon the station point. Adjust the tripod to bring the bob to the station point and the plane table is leveled and is suitable to carry out the reading and surveying. The next thing is how to set up a plane table. A plane table is screwed on the tripod and is adjusted to a suitable height. The spirit level is used to level the plane table. Centering is done if the station mark is on the table using the plumb fork. If station mark is not on the table, mark it using a plumbing fork. The magnetic meridian of the plane table is marked using magnetic compass. Next thing that I'm going to tell you about is how to orient a plane table. Keep the table at an arbitrary point and name the point as A. Draw AB using alley date after sighting the ranging rod at B. Now move the table to station B. Keep the alley date along the line BA and sight the ranging rod at A. The next thing that I'm going to tell you about is what are the different methods to carry out plane table surveying. Surveying. The first method is called the radiation method. Radiation method is a type of method in which a plane table is located at one point. Let us name the point as O. From the point O, we need to perform the whole survey. From O, sight the points A, B, C, D and E using the alley date. Locate and plot these points on the drawing sheet. The other method is the intersection method. In this type of method, we can locate the points by plotting two rays from two known stations. Let P and Q be the two known stations. First, our equipment is placed on P and plot the lines by sighting the stations A, B and Q. Next step is to shift the equipment to the station Q and plot the lines by sighting the stations A, B and P. Finally, the intersection of A and B rays in the required location is the point of intersection. The next method is traversing. Traversing is the connection of series of straight lines. In case of traversing, plane table is located at one point for suppose A. From that point, sight towards B and measure the distance AB. Then shift the plane table to point B and sight towards A and measure BA. Average distance of AB and BA are plotted to the scale in the drawing sheet. Then sight the point C from B and measure BC and repeat the same procedure until the last point of the surveying location. The last method is resection. Resection is a method of plane table surveying in which location of plane table is unknown and it is determined by sighting it to known points or plotted points. It is also called method of orientation of plane table. With this, I come to the end of my video lecture on surveying. I hope you liked it and thank you for showing your patience, and I hope that you get something beneficial from this video lecture. Thank you.